All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Mechak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying to the Lord's elect. Of course, I'm going to start in the news. It says, Kuwaiti tanker laden with oil attacked as duck again threatens to blow up Iran. So, let's see what this is talking about. Actually, is this CNN? So that's going on today. It says, Duck tells the UK and other countries, go get your own oil from the Strait of Hormuz. So there you go, man. You know, there's gonna be a, as you can see, especially when it comes to this oil, that how they're gonna obtain their economies isn't gonna be the way that the duck wants them to do. A lot of people want to sit down and negotiate, you know, a price. You know, the best way to get something you want is not just pulling your gun out and just getting to shooting, because that comes with bullets being shot back at you. So the best thing to do is sit down and negotiate. But the duck don't want them to negotiate. Okay, he wants them to go and fight, and that matches up with Revelation the 17th chapter when they the beast shall hate the whore. The beast ain't start this war. They ain't have no problems with those Iranians over there. As a matter of fact, when this war started, he didn't even tell his allies that anything about it. Imagine somebody in your group go to war with somebody and then they get to retaliating, and then he want to tell you, yeah, I went and popped some of them last night. Who told you to go do that? You know, so it's probably better off you get popped too. Let's start off in the book of Revelation at 17, because that's a good place to start. Revelation 17:1, it says, and they came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And that great whore is talking about America. Okay? Great, because just like a whore, what does a whore do? A whore just goes around fucking around with everybody. Whores are more susceptible to diseases, giving it to everybody, because she's sleeping around with everybody. Okay, that's what she's doing. You know, before this war even started, you were talking about Ukraine all the time. She was fucking with Ukraine. That was his bitch. She was all up under Ukraine's ass. Then before that, Taiwan. Now she's with Israel. So she's all over. She's been all over the place. Saudi Arabia. She was in the QAE before all this shit started. They were donating planes to her. They were buying her gifts. So that's that whore. Revelation 17:2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been drunk with the wine of her fornication. Fornication means adultery. So they commit fornication with America by you know, doing deals with her, as well as, you know, allowing these different policies to be implemented in their countries, like same-sex marriage. That shit came from America. These other Eastern countries don't give a fuck about same-sex marriage. That's something that Babylon pushes on the rest of the people. Revelation 7. So that's like a spiritual disease. You're not supposed to have homosexuals. In these other foreign countries, especially in the Middle East. But now you got homosexuals all over the place over there. Why? Because this place goes over there and they send their ambassadors over there and they say, hey, listen, we'll do an economic, it's called an economic hitman, but some of their plans is that they set up these LGBTQ policies in your country. Because then later on, your country gets destroyed from the inside out, because having a bunch of moles, it shows you that's a decline in the morality of your country. So it just sucks away all morale, and it just becomes something that needs to be destroyed. Okay? Revelation 17:3, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So John the Revelator is seeing the vision of a scarlet-colored beast. Red is symbolic of crime. It's symbolic of sin, okay? But this scarlet-colored beast, that's what it represents NATO and the EU. Okay, it represents Esau's, oh, the lights are on. It represents Esau's, his power structure, okay? Revelation 17:4, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. So this cup that this woman has in her hand is going into her religion, is going into her philosophies, her policies. She's poured that out to the whole world. They all drunk of that same cup. It's full of the blasphemies and the fornication. And all these different nations have drinking of that cup. You know, just like Japan, for example. Japan is their stock market is crashing, and then the woman over there is a kiss ass. So a lot of them don't even like her, and her economy is about to go down. And what's going to happen? More inflation, more the same shit that's going to happen here. Their dollar is collapsing. It'd be in their best interest to click up with China, but they're so far up America's ass that she'll destroy her whole people just to kiss ass over here. Revelation 17:5. And upon her head was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and an abominations of the earth. That's right, it's an abomination of the earth. Okay? So what's an abomination? It's something that the Lord hates. He detests it. It's something that's just completely adverse to what the Lord loves. Okay? That's what an abomination is. It's unclean. It's pretty much they transgress the laws of God. Okay? It says, and then when you look at those words in the Greek, if you switch it into Hebrew and you get the character numbers, it all leads up to 666. So, you know, those that's why it's in all caps, because when you actually do the research on it, you see that it's Esau. Okay, where do you see 666 all the time at? Here, you see it in your shows and all that shit. That's just over here. Okay? Revelation 17:6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So he's seeing a vision of a beautiful woman decked in scarlet color, decked in purple and gold. The purple and gold represents royalty. Because in order to produce those colors, you had to have had money, because it took a lot of labor to produce those colors. So the fact that she was wearing that showed you that she was royalty. Okay, the purple and the blue, because I forgot what sea creature they take and they crush it and they get that color. But it takes a lot of that, whatever sea creature that is, to crush and produce those types of colors. So anybody that was wearing purple back then was considered royalty. Okay? And it says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. The woman, starting with the Roman Empire, you know, the saints are the Israelites according to Psalms 50:5, and let's grab these precepts. Because you think of a saint, you think about Esau riding a horse with armor on, and it's not the case. Psalms chapter 50, verse 5, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So not everyone in the world made a covenant with the Lord by sacrifice. Moses on Mount Sinai gave those laws, statutes, and commandments to the nation of Israel. So that's talking about them, all right? Not anybody who wants to call themselves a saint, all right? Not all nations made a covenant with the Lord on Mount Sinai after the exodus of Egypt. Psalms 148 and verse number 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye the Lord. So his people are the Israelites, the saints are the Israelites, okay? It's not anybody who decides, all right, I'm gonna read the Bible today and I'm gonna call myself a saint from here on out. That's not how you become a saint. There was a sacrifice involved. Okay, people that made a sacrifice with the God of this Bible. Now some people made sacrifices to different gods. Okay, not everyone is under the shadow of the Lord or the protection of the Lord. All right. Revelation 17:6 again. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, which are the Israelites, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. The martyrs of Yahushua are talking about his disciples. Okay, they're the ones who died for Yahushua. All right, they were martyred for the testimony of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So he admired what he saw. He admired the woman that he saw. So when you admire a woman, you might admire her for her beauty, for her curvature. So she looked good. Okay, she looked something like you would want to talk to that. And especially she's decked out. She's looking really good. You might ask her where she's going. Except she's riding a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. I don't know if I would want to go talk to that. Revelation 17:7. And the angel said unto me, where didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and the 10 horns. And our 7 heads and the 10 horns, the 7 heads represent the European Union, what they call it today. But back when Rome was, these same alliances were created during the first Roman Empire. Okay, but the 7 heads and 10 horns also represents the, I think it's 28 European, let me grab it. It basically represents their economics. You know, they have free travel when you go to Europe. You can go from one state to the other without having to show ID and things like that, as well as with trade. You know, typically, when you share borders with other countries, you got to pay a tariff in order to sell something in that country. Because they're all united or in a union with one another, they don't have to pay those tariffs and taxes. They all work together. Okay? So they all benefit from different transactions, even though there's multiple countries in one place. Revelation chapter 17 and verse number 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. That's talking about the Roman Empire. And go into perdition. Perdition meaning destruction. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, which is pretty much 2/3 of the nation of Israel and the rest of the heathen. Their names are not written in the book of life. They're not here to receive everlasting life. Okay, that is the symbolic of the elect. That's who's written in the book of life. And through them, the nation's gonna come back. Because 2/3 of y'all never come back to this truth. You were made to come here and just get put to death. You're not here to serve the Lord. You're here to party. You're here to watch baseball, football, basketball, go to clubs every weekend, and then someone kill you. That's what you were here to. You were born in vain. Okay. When they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. So when they behold the beast that yet was and is not and yet is. So John the Revelator was writing this time during the Roman Empire. So it yet is at that time, but it's not gonna be. But then it's gonna come back. Okay? And that's what America is. It's Rome 2.0. Okay? So you sitting in the Roman Empire right now. Revelation 17 and 9. And the Romans are back in power. Same people that killed the Lord. Same people teaching you about the Lord. That's blasphemy. That's part of the cup that this woman's holding. Imagine somebody killed the Lord. He's telling you about the Lord. Yeah, he loves all of us all of a sudden. No, he don't. He still hates Esau. Revelation 17 and 9. And there is the mind which have wisdom, the 7 heads and the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. They are the 7 heads of the 7 mountains in which the woman sitteth. Okay? Which represents the European Union. All right? Which is mostly known for, what's that, Greece, Spain, Britain. Greece, Spain, Britain, I always forget one. Germain minor, Germain major. France. And I'm missing one. Britain, Spain, Greece, is it Rome? Yeah, Rome, Germain Minor, Germain Major in France. Okay, so those are the 7 heads. That the whore sitteth, the whore is America sitting on this, they sit on the EU. You can see that now. They run EU and NATO. Okay, you can see that. That's why the Duck's always telling you that, you know, he's more stout than his fellows. Told you he was gonna go into Greenland and all that. They ain't do shit because he's sitting upon the beast. Okay, which is a representation of NATO and the EU. Okay, so this is what John the Revelator seen. Revelation 17 in verse 10, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So 5 are fallen and 1 is. Okay. I believe that's talking about Rome. Let me look that up. Let me look at my notes real quick. I got my notes. Don't worry. 5 are fallen and 1 is. Let me get it. What number is that? Revelation chapter 17, verse 10. Let me jump there. See what I got for notes. So the 5 kings that are fallen are Germany Major, Germany Minor, France, Spain, and Greece. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Out of the 5, the first to come into power was Spain, going back to Christopher Columbus, and 1 is Rome. So that 1 is Rome. Okay. So he's right in a time where that still existed. So just in context, it says, and the other is not yet come. So he's talking now. He's prophesying. Okay, it says, oh, that's Britain. Okay, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Britain continued for a short space. The UK/Great Britain, the last major empire that ruled was Great Britain. When they started to diminish as a kingdom, it was during the time period of the Revolutionary War. When America was being established, the 13 colonies out of Great Britain is where the super elite ran things behind the scenes, but the front man is America now. Well, now it is going into the 3 city-states in Revelation 16 and 13. That's what I put in my notes. Okay, basically saying that Britain still runs this place, but they using it's like a guise, because the elites use whatever, you know, the king and all of that as like a front man that you see. But in all actuality, it's they still running this place from over there. So that's the 1 is. Revelation 17 and 11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. So that's talking about America. Okay, let me see how I explained it. It says, I'm just reading my notes. The beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. This is talking about Rome coming back. The revitalized empire, Babylon the Great America. So it's talking about America. So this is that Rome that's coming back. And is of the 7, even though it's talking about America, but it's talking about the whole of the beast, with America being the spearhead. Because America came out of Great Britain and is known as the hammer of the earth. So let me explain that again. Revelation 17 and 11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. So that's talking about America, because Rome fell, and then it was revitalized during the Renaissance era with Christopher Columbus, when he came back killing you Latinos. That's why y'all believe being white is right, because he whipped your ass so badly that you had to believe it. You couldn't believe any other way. He said he couldn't even put his sword down from slaying you niggas. And now look at you now. You're weak. You don't even want to fight. And I'm not talking about the men of the Lord. I'm talking about those of you who won't come back to your nationality, not understanding how you even got the names that you got today. These are questions that's the spirit that should be ringing your noggin you know, to come up out of that madness. But for a lot of y'all, it's just one goes in one ear and out the other, because the Lord's not dealing with you. He wants you to consider yourself to be a Latinx, which is created by the LBGTQ, by the way. So you're a full-blown spiritual homosexual. You're a sodomite, spiritual. Just like it tells you in Revelation 11:8, which is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt. Are you calling yourself something like that, and you're praying to a God that's a damn sodomite too? Revelation 17 in verse 12 again, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So they received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Okay, let's look this up. Revelation, I thought I passed that. Revelation 17 and 13. Okay. No notes. I got to go back into that. I don't have any notes for Revelation 17 and 13. So I'm going to skip it. But I believe that is talking about the fact that they're working with Esau now, because as we read on, it tells you that the beast is going to turn on the whore. So they're receiving the power to be with them now. You know, it all benefited them for a while now, but now it's not starting to benefit them. That's what this whole oil thing's starting to put pressure on these different alliances. Okay, so they're not going to have the capability to trust the whore anymore, man. Because it's not going to benefit her. You might as well get this bitch off your back and operate independent from her. That's why you're starting to see them do, trades. They're asking, can we work with Russia? Can we talk to them? Can we set up? They had this other pipeline they wanted Ukraine to establish so they can get Russian oil right into the EU. If they don't do these things, you got two options. You're gonna pay a shit ton of money for oil with America, who can't even benefit you at the end of the day, and then still be at odds with Russia, Iran, all these other, China. So politically, it's a nightmare. You know, it favors them to work with people in their area instead of going way out and enriching, empowering the whore. That's why it's about to get cut off. Revelation 17 and 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Yeah, they have one mind. The harlot that's sitting upon the beast and the 7 heads. They all one. Okay? Even though they're separate, just like the Lord. You know, he says he's one with the Heavenly Father, but yet they're separate. They work independently of each other. But the difference between them and the Lord, you're starting to see the divide. There's not going to be no divide with the Lord and his Son. Okay? Revelation chapter 17 and verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb. The Lamb's talking about our Lord Yahweh Shai. And the Lamb shall overcome them. That's going into 2nd Esdras the 13th chapter. Revelation the 19th chapter. Okay? He gonna fight. The Lord's gonna fight with these different nations. He gonna prevail against them. He gonna overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. That's right. They that are with him, which are the angels, they're called faithful and chosen. Okay, he's gonna empty out the host of heaven, save his elect, destroy everybody else. Okay, well, not everybody else. I shouldn't say it like that, but destroy these militaries that are gathering themselves together in Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. All the kings of the earth are going to go there and reverence him, according to 2nd Esdras 15 and 20. So these different Arab groups are going to work together. These different European nations, they're going in there whether they like it or not. And all these other nations, any government that has a military, they're going over there. Turkey, all of them. All right? And then they're going to be destroyed over there by the Lord. They're going to fight each other. All of us fighting each other now, but they're going to come together under one banner and try to fight against the Lord, and he's going to destroy them really easily. Revelation 17 and 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. and that's talking about Revelation 17 and 1. It tells you that she sitteth upon many waters. The waters are symbolic of the people. And as you can see, this is a melting pot that she sits upon. Okay? You pay tribute to her. Your taxes and everything goes up to who? Her, which is America, whoever's sitting on the beast. The elites. Esau. Revelation 17 and verse number 15 again. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And that's what you see. The tongues means different languages that people speak. So that's what you hear. You got Arabic speaking people, Spanish, Latino speaking people, or Hispanic speaking people. All right? You got Spaniards, you got all different nations, man. French Creole and French and Russian and Poland and all that shit. All over here. Okay? Revelation 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Okay? Talking about the European Union. Okay? And shall make her, or NATO and the EU. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So they're going to eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's thermonuclear destruction. All right? So that's Esau getting backdoored by his own allies. And why wouldn't they? Look at this nigga. There's nobody in the hood that could do some shit that Esau's doing. He doing the same shit. If you just break it all the way down to something you can, think about. I always think about, what's that, Paid in Full. When Cameron went and came and killed this man in the hallway and took his bag, and that's what they're gonna do. He was surprised, like, what the hell? Yeah. Give me that, man. He just took it. But the dude who died, I forgot his name, that died in Paid in Full, he was making sure everyone was eating his bread, making sure everybody was good. And then Cam, rotten, wicked ass, came over and popped his ass. And that's kind of what the EU's gonna do to him. It's gonna switch on him. Switch by burning her with fire. Revelation 17 and 17, for God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. So God hath put in their hearts, which is their mind, to fulfill his will. And his will is that they turn on the whore and burn her with fire. Okay, so that's coming too. And look at all the shit he talking. He told you he was gonna go into Greenland. He told, I'm gonna make Canada a 51st state. He was hinting at Iceland too. You know? So why would they even want to fuck with him like that? You told Spain, I'll go find your airspace even though you don't want me to. Spain just denied him to set his troops up there again. He's like, nah, nigga, I'm not. And Spain's one of those heads. Nah, you ain't setting your battleships over here. So that's them. They were one. If that's not being one anymore. If you saying I'm gonna do this and they telling you no, you're not. You're not one anymore. You're like 90-10%. But eventually it's gonna be 60-40 on the B side. He's gonna burn you with fire. Revelation chapter 17, verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. That great city is talking about America. Don't be confused. It says, because city, you think, okay, this is a nation. Why would the Lord be calling it a city? Well, a city is how can I put it? A city consists of its citizens. Okay, so that's what this is. One great city. All right. Even though it's split up into different states and provinces, he described it as a great city, and that's talking about here in America. Okay, so if you can receive that, I haven't broke the whole thing down a little bit, but that's why you got to keep going over it. The more you go over it, and over, it'll be a lot smoother. But if you don't go over it, you'll just forget it. All right. Let's see what else is in the news, though. As a matter of fact, I do want to grab something in Obadiah real quick, because it's not just him, it's not just them, it's not just Europe. Okay, all these nations that got nuclear capability are gonna burn her with fire. They're just getting in on it. That's the perfect time. Everyone else, y'all gonna do it anyways. Fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's get her up out of here. Jeremiah 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. That's right. Who's her? It's talking about that whore in Revelation, the 17th chapter. All ye that bend the bow is talking about y'all who have thermonuclear capability. Okay? So that's what that's talking about. Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. That destroying wind is talking about the thermonuclear destruction. Okay? And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So the fanners are the different nations that are gonna contribute to the fire over here. Because it's not just gonna be one nuclear event. It's gonna be multiple nuclear events simultaneously happening, just like the 4th of July. At the end, the grand finale, you get the boom, 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 multi big. That's why it does that. It does that to get you prepared, because that's what you're gonna hear when it blows this place up. It's gonna be a grand finale. All right? But you're gonna be within the explosion. The only one who's really gonna see it and celebrate like it's July 4th is the nation of Israel, the elected Israel. Okay? Because they're not gonna take the chip. They're not gonna bow the knee to the image of this system here. Okay? They're gonna stand stiffly for the Lord. So simultaneously, and those people in those bunkers that are over here, they're gonna be destroyed too. All right? So the only ones that are gonna rejoice in that time are the elect of Israel. Okay? And the elect, what would they be doing? Because it tells you in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, that what manner of conversation are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So they would be acting a certain way in this time before the destruction comes. We see it's coming. Well, how would they be in this time if they know that's to come? They'd be on the highways and hedges prophesying the downfall of the place, of Babylon the Great. Mystery Babylon, as Revelations, John the Revelator known it to be. But now we know, we have a more sure word of prophecy. So now we know this is talking about this place. The beast sitting on the whore, NATO and the EU, Greece, France, and all of that, that wasn't even established during his time. Okay? The European Union and all of these words that I'm using, NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which was created after the Russians got pushed out. So all of these things are, these different alliances weren't fully established yet, like now. All right. It's most importantly, the capability of burning her with fire. They didn't have that type of technology then. All right. So that's talking about now. Now that we know how they would be able to fulfill that prophecy, we can see that now. And it's via those missiles. Okay. Jeremiah 51:3. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth up himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. So it's right, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. So host means armies. Destroy all of that. He lifting up himself in his brigandine. The brigandine goes into your armor, his military capability, his defense systems. Destroy all of that. Okay. Jeremiah 51:4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. So the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans are pretty much are the elites of Babylon. So the elites of Babylon, Chaldeans in this time will be considered the small hats. You know, those of them who run shit. That's them. All right, they're the modern day Chaldeans who practice all types of witchcraft, you know, wickedness. That's Esau and Amalek. Amalek's really the head of the horde. All right, and controlling this bitch, because that's what all the function. That's what's controlling the body. All right, that's Amalek, the grandson of Esau. When you read Genesis the 36th chapter, it talks about Eliphaz and how he had a concubine, brought forth that devil Amalek. He must have been an ugly motherfucker, man. If Esau was that ugly, I can imagine how ugly his grandsons were. But the Lord don't describe it. I'm just speculating through the spirit. I believe he came out premature, like that movie Austin Powers, the little mini-me. But that's just me. That's what I think. That's not scriptural. Jeremiah 51:5, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, or the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. So Israel, which is the northern kingdom, nor Judah was forsaken, which is the southern kingdom, which is symbolic of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. You are forsaken of your God. It seems like you're forsaken because you're at the bottom of society, but you're really not. You're really not. The Lord chastens his sons. He chastening you like a son, you know, to keep you glorifying and hoping and keeping your faith on him, that he deliver you. But the heathen, every day they're getting more proud. So that's how the Lord wants them to be. But all these afflictions that are happening with the price of oil, everyone's being affected. But the Lord is going to increase the faith of his elect. Okay, that's the whole process. It's a furnace of affliction, but it's order to remove the impurities that he don't want in you. He don't want you relying on Babylon to be saved, man. This place is going to be destroyed. He wants you to count on him and his prophecies and be fully set and persuaded in your mind that he's coming to deliver. If you don't believe in that, then there's nothing he can do with you but go put you to death. Okay, if these afflictions take you out spiritually. Because it tells you that a wounded spirit who could bear. If you don't think the Lord's coming to deliver you, you're going to faint in the time when, at that point. Just like when Yahweh Shai in Matthew the 4th chapter, he didn't have any water, he didn't have any bread, and he had to get tempted by the devil. You're going to be tempted because you ain't going to have any water, you ain't going to have any bread. And Esau's going to give you a little right-sized device in your forehead or in your right hand. You're going to ask for it too. You're going to say, please. And a lot of y'all going to say, thank you. Just like when he gave you the jab. You were happy, you felt good about it, because that's your spirit. You're a beast. That's why they call it the mark of the beast. Okay? Because a beast is someone who lacks understanding of the Lord. That's what makes you a carnal beast. Okay? You're not operating under the laws, statutes, and commandments. He told you not to do it, but yet you did it anyways, just like a beast. Tell your dog, don't eat, you know, I'm going to leave this steak in front of you. You walk away. He might try not to eat it, but eventually he will because he's a dog. The best his stomach, his emotions overcome him. He's bound to the five senses, so he don't have that sixth sense, which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Jeremiah 51:6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul and be not cut off. Salaki, it doesn't say and. It says be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So he's going to pay back Babylon for what they did to the nation of Israel. That's what he's paying her back for. It tells you in the book of Galatians, the 6th chapter, what a man soweth, that what he shall also reap. And what does he sow? Discord, death, evil. So that's what he's going to get back. All right? He's not sowing he's sowing to the flesh. He ain't sowing to the spirit. Because that's not his blessing to do so. That's what Esau did when he sold his birthright for a morsel of meat. Nigga sowing to the flesh, man. That's his blessing. A morsel of meat. That's his blessing. That's what he traded his birthright for. To Jacob. All right. So this plan that he got to expand his borders is gonna fail. Because that's not his blessing. The Lord's gonna expand the borders of Israel when we get put back into our land, because it's gonna be refreshed, nice and clean. It's gonna be fully destroyed. You can rebuild it into perfection. Okay. Revelation 51:7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So they're mad that they follow Esau. Okay. Europe, they're mad that they're following Esau. Japan, mad that it's following Esau. The people are hating their politicians. They're going to rise up against them. You know? So the same things that you're seeing in these different countries, it's happening there first, but it's going to happen here. This place is a little more sheltered. This is where the grand finale is going to happen. So that's why y'all still got oil. Same shit like with Cuba. You see how they ain't got no oil, they ain't got any lights? That's going to happen here. Okay, they're not sheltered as much as Babylon, but they're more resilient than y'all. They ain't never really had too much shit, man. They had to rely on working with each other. They have community there. You know, even though they didn't they have more community is what I'm trying to say. Okay, they work with each other. I mean, it was like a communist state, but everyone knows their doctor. They have doctors on each corner, so you grow up with your doctor. You know, so that's different. You know, they have more. Well, I was saying how they were going up against their government. I mean, that's only the natural thing to do. You would think, okay, nothing's happening. We got to go to the top. We got to go to why is this thing happening? You know, they started burning down their buildings. Those are the type of things that are going to happen here. Especially when, you know, your lights go off, your internet's cut. You can't pay your bills. There's no jobs. That's more time for people to come out here and protest. And then he's going to come down with greater wrath. That's why he's already setting up ICE agents in your airports. He might even replace your police force with ICE agents and military. He might abolish the police. That might be a next agenda. You just put military there. You already got paperwork that put in that gray area, because that's prophesied to happen, that this is going to be a gray state. Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be she may be healed. Yeah, then that balm is quantitative easing. Okay, they trying to, you know, might hit you with some, trying to save this place, print out more money. Okay, give me 200 billion. I gotta fix this oil price situation. We need money for this, that, and the third. I did a video on Jerome Powell. He was here in Massachusetts. He was at Harvard University, telling them how you can heal Babylon. He was explaining, because he's almost out of here. He's out of here, man. Jerome Powell's gone. Then he gonna set up that other beast, that devil, and he gonna fuck this place up. So your inflation's gonna go up. But in his, what he was saying in his speech, that there's a couple ways you can get out of this 39 trillion. You ain't gotta pay it all up front. But he's saying the trajectory of, you know, because he said you spent like 1 trillion already. So the amount of money that you're spending now is astronomically more. And you need to have a system where, you know, the growth outweighs the inflation, and that's not happening. People are not having kids, and saying the time, when you ask someone when you gonna have a kid, oh, I'm gonna wait till I'm 30. Ask a girl, she'd be like, you know, I'm 25. Are you ready to have? I'm too young to have a kid. She'd say she's 25 years old, talking about she's too young to have a kid. So she's through. She's gonna wait till she's like 50. That's what's wrong with y'all. So there's a higher complication at having kids at that age, and they ain't gonna survive. Okay? A lot of them are gonna die, man. So the point that I'm making is people are not having kids. Even immigrants coming over here, they're bringing kids from other countries, but he ain't even giving you citizenship. So, but I believe he's gonna hit you with the citizenship soon when he makes this place digital, so you can buy that golden duck card that he got. We're gonna see what that's all about. I'm still waiting to see who's gonna buy that, because I know that's for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's gonna offer you something you can't refuse. He loves to make a deal with you. That's what he does in these other countries. I'll give you all this some way, somehow. It's a back door to fucking your shit up, taking something else that he wants from you. But this time, it ain't. He don't want anything other than your soul. Scriptures tell you he's not satisfied with blood. Now he wants your soul. By you taking that chip, you're saying you're property of the so-called white man. So a lot of y'all already think like that. So that's good. So you be a slave to him, and you're gonna die. So that's good. That means the Lord he ain't dealing with you. But that balm for your pain is going to quantitative easing, and eventually they're gonna print so much money, it makes the money worthless. So by the time he offered you millions of dollars, he already gonna put his name on your dollar bill. That's how you know that money ain't shit. And he gonna give it to you with his name on it. And because you trust and believe in the so-called white man so much, you can be like, well, yo, this is Duck's signature. Oh yeah. You're fucked. Jeremiah 51:9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the sky. So there's gonna be a reverse migration. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. Okay? The immigrants are gonna willingly want to get the fuck out of here in that time. As soon as they become citizens of this place. That's just speculating. The irony of the Lord is crazy, man. You wanted to come here so badly, now you want to go? What happened? That's what you get, coming into Egypt, but not by me. When I say me, I'm talking about the Lord. Isaiah chapter 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Yeah, woe means death and destruction. That go down to America for help. And stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many. You think they got a military? Oh, they can protect us too from this messed up government and stuff like that, right? And in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Yeah, they don't look to the Holy One of Israel. They're not looking for the Lord for counsel. So woe to them that do that. Okay? You think it's better to go over there, but it's not. Okay? It's not. Isaiah 30:1, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. You got the covering of Babylon. You got a Babylonian garment on. You want to put that on, but you don't want to put on the Lord's garment. You don't want to put on this righteousness. You don't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You want to come over here and act like you're an American. You want to wear the Babylonian garment. That's why you got filler in your lip. You know what these women be doing. Because they got the wrong garment on. Isaiah 30, verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt, this is the precept, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. That's exactly what they're doing. They're trusting in the shadow of Egypt. They think that this place is going to sustain them, or is their salvation, so to speak. They think, all right, I'm gonna be all right now. So that thought is gonna get them destroyed because they're not coming in the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. They're not asking the Lord to guide their steps. They thinking I can just go into Egypt and I'll be good, instead of thinking I can just go to the Lord and I'll be good. But a lot of them are coming up here for two things, either to be saved or destroyed, because this is where the word came out. This is where the word's going out at. So that water's flowing. If they don't get this water in this wilderness over here, they're going to get caught by ice. If they're Israel, they're going to be put to death. They're going to get shipped up. Their family's going to be separated. You know, all the typical bullshit that happens on a day-to-day. You don't want to serve the Lord? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you want to come over here worshiping your false gods that Christopher Columbus gave you in 1492 when he whooped your ass and put you on slave ships and mocked you every single year on Christmas? Then you're going to die. All those black faces, pretty much, they mocking y'all because y'all used to be darker. There were dark-skinned people here, man, before the redneck came over here. And now you think you're a redneck because you giving yourselves to the murderer. All right? As a matter of fact, let me grab that. That's Ephraim. Ephraim has given themselves to the murderer, KJV. Hosea 9, verse 13. Ephraim, which is the northern kingdom, which is you Latinos and Native Americans, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place. But Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. So you bring in your children to the murderer, which is Esau. He's the murderer. You want your kids to be with a so-called white man, right? That's the murderer. That's why y'all like that now. And y'all are racist as hell, but it's all good. Because you're gonna die. Just like Esau. Okay? It's good that's how the Lord looks. So it's really you hate the Lord. Alright? You wanna give yourself to the murderer, he gonna get put to death too. That's what I'm talking about over here. Isaiah 30, verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and your trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. You're going to be confused. That's why you're going to want to leave. Okay? I can't wait to see that happen on an elevated level. Seeing people wanting to get the fuck up out of here willingly. Now, the duck offered you to leave on boats if you willingly self-deported yourself. You didn't see a mass migration doing that. You're going to see it. You're going to see people, just like what happened in Louisiana when they heard that ICE was coming. Nobody went to school. The whole thing, it was dead. When he sent ICE over there, because it was a bunch of, they didn't even go to work. That's a great forsakening. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. That's mass migration, the fuck up out of here. No one's in the stores. Everyone's saying, we got to get the fuck up out of here, man. And that's why Esau already sees that. That's why Esau, Ellen DeGeneres, she was out. I'm out of here. I think she went to Africa somewhere. Then a flood came. You can't run from the Lord. It's judgment ultimately. But you're going to start to see that. People going to want to get the fuck up out of here. Isaiah 30, verse 4, for the princes were at Zoan and his ambassadors came to Hanes. That's going into these different, because Israel was going and trying to make alliances because they thought, they were trying to avoid the judgment of the Lord, and it didn't help them, long story short. Jeremiah 51 and verse number 10, the Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. That's what we're doing. We're declaring in Zion, which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the work of the Lord. Okay? He's doing all these things. These things that you've seen in the world are happening. These are all written in the Bible, man. The gathering, how you doing today, of people into the Joel 2 and 20. These wars, these different groups that are entering into the battle. The fact that America and NATO and the EU are disagreeing with each other, that's all written in the book. Inflation, hyperinflation, famines, pestilence, wars, it's all written in the book. Uprising of the people, more protests. It's in your Bible, man. Who you are, who they are, where we're going. It's in the book. Jeremiah 51 in verse 11. And I see who you are. I'm talking about the nation of Israel. Okay? These heathen, when the white conquistadors came, those were Edomites. So-called Christopher Columbus that you love so much, that's a small hat. Crypto Jew. So he don't give a fuck about you. He knows who you are. He knows you're his enemy. That's why he slayed you like that. He was hanging you by, 12 at a time? And burning your feet. Hang you and then burn your feet. And then tell you to shut up. He don't want to hear you scream. All right? So that's the type of shit this nigga was doing. And he's about to come down with great wrath. He's going to be putting y'all to death again. All right? It's going to be with the chip, but if you don't take the chip, he's going to put you to death. So even if you don't take the chip, you can still get put to death. So it is what it is. As a matter of fact, I got a little more time. Jeremiah 51 in verse 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord had raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, which is talking about the Russians. The modern day Medes are the Russians. They're occupying that land of Japheth. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it. That's right. His device is against Babylon to destroy it. Okay? Babylon wasn't destroyed. You read Daniel, the 5th chapter. Darius the Mede took down Belshazzar. When the handwriting on the wall, that's not destroyed like the Lord's prophesying it was gonna happen to Babylon. Because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. See, the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. The Romans never paid for what they did in 70 AD. Esau got to pay for those sins too. Okay? Shalom, King. Shalom. Okay? The vengeance of the temple, man. He didn't forget about that. He took his gold. Because after Babylon took down the first temple, the Persians, we rebuilt the temple and put everything back. All right? So the Lord brought everything back. But then, now, he's talking about this place here, man. Okay? Talking about here, man. That's the vengeance. Jeremiah 51 and 12, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord have devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Yes, so get ready to go to war. Get ready, and that's what he's doing. Set up the ambushes. Okay? Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong, because the Lord's coming. The Lord's coming, man. Coming to get you. Jeremiah 51, and verse 13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. Right. Thou that sitteth upon many waters. That's not talking about Babylon. That's talking about Revelation, the 17th chapter. Talking about with Jeremiah, thou that sitteth on many waters in Revelation 17 and 1. All right. Jeremiah is saying the same thing that John the Revelator is saying. Jeremiah is saying the same thing that Isaiah was saying. Stirring up the spirit of the Medes. All right. Ezekiel is talking about it. In Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Jeremiah 51 and 14, the Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. He hath made the earth by his power, he hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind of his treasures. Yeah, the wind of his treasures. The wind, going back to Jeremiah 51 and 1, that destroying wind. Okay? Talking about these missiles that he's going to send over here. Every man is brutish by his knowledge, Jeremiah 51 and 17. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, for his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. That's right, going into his idolatry, his false religions. No breath in them. If there was breath, they'd be telling you about the destruction that's coming for serving them. Jeremiah 51:18, they are vanity, the work of errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. That's right. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. The Lord sends his son and destroys, all of that's going to be destroyed. The thought of worshiping, you're going to know who the Lord is. You're not going to believe in anything else after that. That's going back to Psalms the 9th chapter. The Lord is known by the judgment that he executeth. Higgaion Salah. So you're going to know when he judges America. You're going to know who the Lord is. You're going to stop praying to the so-called white man in that time. Because the so-called white man is going to gather these nations to fight up against the Lord. That's why he's going into the valley. He's really getting prepared for war with the Lord. Okay? It's like he's in the gym right now, getting people ready. Throwing a little jab here, 10,000 here. Y'all get ready, get your missiles, get to shooting this. Get evil, get willing to people to die, man. And then while they exhibitioning, then the Lord's gonna come for the actual battle. He's gathering these mountains, these different nations over there. That's where the ring's at. And the Lord's gonna come and knock them out. Jeremiah 51 and verse 19, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Yeah, the portion of Jacob is not like them. Okay, the portion of Jacob is not like you heathen. Okay, because he is the rod of his inheritance. So we're the Lord's inheritance. We're the jewels of the Lord. And he's making up his jewels according to Malachi 3rd chapter. Okay. It says, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. It says, it's not like them, for he is the former of all things. So our Lord is the former of all things. Starting with Yahweh, he's really the former of all things. Then Yahweh Shai, he's the one who created everything, but through the power of Yahweh. And Jake too. We created a lot of things before we don't get any credit for, like your street lights and things like that. Saw what we could do with peanut butter. Okay, we created a lot of different things, a lot of farming utensils you people use today. It originated with Esau. It originated with Jacob, and Esau took it, and but he patented even electricity. Jake. Okay. As you can see, the former of all things, man. Even when it comes to fighting, that's Jake. Your samurais, that's Jake. Okay? But Esau, what they do is they don't want you to know any of this, and they manipulate it. They try to give like little hints, but they don't really want you to know. They'll take the images and you can see it's kind of dark, but it ain't, it's like they do shit like that. All it is for you not to know. That's as long as you don't know, that's good. Because they don't want you to know that you're the greatest people upon the face of the earth. They had to go out of their way to make you feel like you ain't shit. That caused, and all the nations, according to Psalms the 83rd chapter, they had to participate in it. That's why they all call you black. They all agree with that. That's why they all gonna get fucked up too. And I can't wait for the day when the Lord allows the nation of Israel to put these other nations in slavery. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because now we can start to learn righteousness, execute righteousness down here on the earth. And that's the honor that the Lord is going to give to his people, to execute judgment upon the heathen. Okay? Let me grab that. Psalms. I got to end it on that. I got to go. Psalms 149. In verse 1, praise ye the Lord, sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise in a congregation of saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. Psalms 148 and 14 and Psalms 50 and 5. I already read it. Psalm 149 and 2, let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful to their king. And their king is starting with Yahweh, but through his son Yahweh Shai, okay? Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, through the name of Yahweh Shai, okay? Even though Yahweh Shai is the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, the Most High God is the King of everything. He's the Lord of Lords, he's the God of gods, he's everything, okay? But he gave that title to his son, so that's an honorable title. All right, and Yahweh Shai is going to be sitting on the throne. But David's a king too. We're a nation of kings and priests, but there's order to it all. It all started with Yahweh when he spoke it into existence, and you can only worship him through his son, which is Yahweh Shai. And let Israel rejoice in that. Okay? Because that's who he died for. He ain't died for everybody else. Okay? Psalms 149 and verse 3. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let him sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. And we're going to do that when we're in the chariots. We're going to be dancing as you people getting burnt up. So just know when you're getting burnt up in that fire, there's a party going on. Okay? Up in the heavens. All right? We chilling. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people are the Israelites. He will beautify the meek with salvation. So the beautifying the meek, which are the elect of Israel, with salvation. Okay? So when these people are going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, you're going to get brought up into the sky to watch the fall of your enemies. Like it tells you in Ecclesiasticus 25 and 7. Like it tells you in Psalms 91 and verse, let me grab that too. I'll grab the one of Psalms 91. Psalms 91 and verse 8. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. That's right. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. So that's talking about the elect. You're going to be able to see Esau get burned up. 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Okay. Psalms 58, in verse number 10, the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. That's right, we're going to wash our feet in the blood of the wicked. Literally, by being on top of you as you get burnt up. It's symbolic of watching you die. The Lord's going to be burning you up. That's us washing our feet in your blood. Psalms 149 and verse 5, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Now it's going into the kingdom. You got to get received into the chariot. That's the salvation. Now we're singing aloud upon our beds. That's in the kingdom. We're always going to be, every single day, every day we wake up in a glorious body, in glorious apparel, glorious everything. Everything glorious, going to glory all the day long, for all eternity. Okay? We're going to thank the Lord. Every day is just going to get better and better and better forever. Now, I don't know how the Lord's going to do that. That just blows my mind. Okay? Psalms 149 and verse 6, let the high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. So we're going to give our high praises to God, which is the Most High. Okay? Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. So we're gonna be praising them in that time. For everything. Every day. All the time. To execute, Psalms 149 and 7. To execute, actually hold on. It says in a two-edged sword in their hand. So we're gonna have a two-edged sword. This is likened unto a two-edged sword. It tells you that in Hebrews the 4th chapter. But we're gonna have physical swords in our hands when we get in the kingdom. All right. Let me grab this real quick. Hebrews chapter 4, and verse 12. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So the word is powerful and quick and sharper than any two-edged sword. Excuse me. It's sharper. But it's like a two-edged sword, because when you read Isaiah the 28th chapter, let me grab that precept. It you could stumble at this word. If Esau, you get the wrong understanding, you get cut. He told you were Ham in the Bible. That was a cut because you believed it. That's what he used to justify slavery. Oh no, you're the Hamites. Yeah, you're a profane people. No. That's those Africans, the Hamites. As you can see, look at them today. They're still profane. You can't change. You can't make an unclean out of a clean. Or you can't make a clean out of an unclean. Okay? Let me grab this. Isaiah 28 in verse. Where is it? It says, shit, hold on. Okay. I gotta go. Isaiah 28, in verse 13. It says, but the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. Because you're supposed to read the Bible like that. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, so you can gain understanding. But if you do it the wrong way, it can make you fall back and stumble. So that's what Esau was doing, taking scriptures out of context, and it made us fall back and stumble. But now we got the word. The Lord gave us the ability. So it's like a two-edged sword. It can be used against you is what I'm trying to prove here. Or it can use to heal. It can be used to heal you. That's why the word is like a two-edged sword. It says quick. Quick. The word quick goes into make alive. Okay. When you're quickened, you've been made alive. So the sword made you alive. But right now, it's being used to make the nation of Israel alive, and it's putting to death the rest of you people. Showing you people really don't know the word of the Lord. So you've always been dead, but the fact that Israel believed that bullshit is what is the problem. You heathen ain't gonna believe till you see the judgment of the Lord. You people really don't believe in God. You actually believe in rocks and wood. That's what you believe in. Idols. Psalms 149 in verse 7 to execute. Let me verse 6. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. So execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. So we're going to be punished. Why? Because you've been transgressing our laws. You got to pay for all of that just so we can correct your soul. It's really affliction on your body to correct the soul. Okay? So you got to go through that. But at the end of all of that, your days are going to get better. Okay? You're going to be living long. You ain't going to have to worry about you going back to the herbs. We're not going to hit you with petroleum-based medication. We're going to be able to heal everything, man. It ain't going to be not one. Everything down here on the earth was used to heal you in some form or fashion. There ain't going to be no cancer. There ain't going to be none of that shit. All right? Because we're going to go back to the herbs. We had all that knowledge. Esau has all that knowledge. He uses the herbs. He gives you petroleum-based medications because he's a devil. He calls you a hack when you give him when you know about the herbs and shit. I forgot. I think he calls you a hack or something like that. Maybe it's not the word hack, but anyone that's telling you how to heal yourself via the herbs, he pretty much like Dr. Sebi. He was explaining to you how He can even cure HIV with certain herbs. Okay, so Esau makes too much money off of that. He don't want you healing that. Cancer, he makes too much money off of that. You can't even go to a drive-through, nigga be like, you want to donate 10 cents to me? Get the fuck out of here. He's just in your pocket every step of the way. You want to donate 10 cents to me? Get the fuck out of here. You want to round up your order and donate to Jimmy Fund? No. Because I know how to cure cancer. We got to get rid of the so-called white man. We ain't got to worry about cancer no more. He is the cancer. You get rid of him, everything else is going to be just fine. All right? So you ain't got to donate to that. Esau need to be destroyed. You need to go into slavery and then be uprooted, and then we can worry about healing and everything like that. The world will heal after we get rid of this parasite. All right? Psalms 149 and verse number 8, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. So to bind their kings with chains and nobles with fetters of iron. Their kings and their nobles, their elites, are gonna get handcuffs on their wrists and on their ankles. They're gonna be joining the chain gang soon. All right? That's for the men of the Lord. Psalms 149 and 9, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachach Wadash. And I'm ending here. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachach Wadash. Shalom, Abba Babal, and Kwam Yasharah.